This week, unfortunately, Eastern Airways went into administration, meaning that their flights from here in Newquay up to London are no more. I've just flown down on Ryanair from Stansted, which remains the only flight connection to London. There's 3 flights a week at the moment, so let's wind back an hour or 2 and we'll see what that's like. Throughout this video, I'm making a comparison versus what I experienced on the now defunct Eastern Airways from Gatwick. So the first thing you'll notice is the train takes a heck of a lot longer to get to the airport or to the city. 50 minutes. You cannot use Oyster or contactless for the train to Stansted. It's also way more expensive on the train to get here than it is to Gatwick. So far then, Stansted is an expensive pain to get to, but what about the delights of the terminal and Ryanair? The good thing is you do come straight off the train though, into the terminal and head into departures. You want to drop your bag off, it's on the way as well. In terms of what luggage you can get with your ticket on Ryanair versus Eastern, it's just a rucksack unless you pay some more. With Eastern, you'd have been able to bring on a cabin bag suitcase for free. That looks a little bit like this. Comparing airports and Fast Track is also available here at Stansted. Of course, an extra to buy, but it's a nice to have. Look at the queue in the regular line here on a Friday midday. Whilst we're going through security, I'd love it if you could subscribe and offer up a like. It really helps YouTube promote the video and lets other people like you find it. Thank you. And let me tell you, you probably do want to have Fast Track. Security there was an hour. It took us 15 minutes with Fast Track. So yeah, long time from the city centre, quite slow to get through security. And now we have to walk through all the duty free. Nothing new with that, of course. So let's head on in and get some lunch. Have a guess how much a pint, Prosecco and a salad cost. Answers down in the comments. So the other thing you're going to need to consider here is the frequency of service. Ryanair say they offer 6 flights a week, so it's 3 return trips. The timing of those flights is also not fantastic. If you think Eastern, I think had maybe 3 or 4 flights a day all throughout, so early morning into the evening. Great for business. Ryanair's flights don't offer that. There's no early morning connections or evening connections, and in fact, the days that they do fly, you're going to struggle to get a day's work done if you're coming to London or going down to Cornwall. And actually on our flight today, that leaves at 2:15, so I need to drink up and let's get going. The other downside for me of Stansted is if you've got a priority pass, you can only use that £18 credit in here, the Camden Bar and Grill. And it's not fantastic. If you think about Gatwick, you've got a plethora of options, so you could do a bit of a crawl if you wanted to chance your luck with it. Stansted does have a paid lounge, which is down a busy corridor to the toilets, and I mean busy. As expected, there was a wait list to get into the escape lounge, but within 10 minutes I'd received my entry text, so it's downstairs and inside. Once inside, I did have to wait a sec to be shown to my table, although table service, funnily enough, is not available in here. So I will say the lounge is better than what I expected actually. It's not too busy, even though we had to wait maybe 15 minutes in the queue. Food looks all right. I've already eaten, so I don't need any more. Prosecco is on tap, it's not pulled out of a bowl. A couple of beers, soft drinks out of glass bowls, as you would expect really. We do need to board though, so let's head to the gate. I'm fairly certain gates 81 to 89 are used, or certainly used to be exclusively used for domestic flights, but I couldn't find anything concrete to back that up. A short walk past Wetherspoons, and it's over that long bridge into the pier. Okay, so we are down at the gate now. Final call. Is anyone boarding? No, of course they're not. Yeah, look, final call and everyone is standing outside in the rain. The aircraft and the crew clearly aren't ready yet. So we are through the boarding gate now. They're not letting anybody on the aircraft yet. I think we're last through, so we're just gonna hang back for a minute rather than standing up on the stairs and working our way through. Boarding did eventually start properly, and now is a good time to mention that Ryanair will sit you as far apart as possible if you do not pay to reserve a seat. The cheapest seats are about £9 to reserve, and well, we just didn't really fancy paying that today. So we've been randomly allocated our seats. I'm in row 3 and my fiance is down in row 29. I'm gonna make a quick run for it as the rain dies off and we try and get on the plane. We checked in about 4 hours before the flight in the hope of getting an extra legroom seat, playing Ryanair roulette. We were hoping to get that for free, as these are the last ones that Ryanair will allocate, but the aircraft's not full, so no such luck today. Okay, so we're last on board. We've managed to buy 3 Alpha and a window seat. Hopefully on time. From the 12th of November, Ryanair will only issue online boarding passes, so you'll need to check in online or via the app to get hold of yours. This aircraft is 15 years old, and the oldest seats that you'll find on Ryanair these days, to be honest, these are probably slightly more comfortable than the new slimline ones.
On board this Ryanair UK flight BRK 9228 going to Newquay. We'll be departing off of the north-westerly runway here in London Stansted. We'll make an initial right turn out before we turn back towards the southwest, climbing up to a cruising altitude of 38,000 feet, where we're expecting generally smooth flying conditions. Flight time today in the region of 1 hour. Most recent weather report from Newquay is pretty similar to here really. Temperature at the moment of 15 degrees Celsius.
Climbing out of runway 22, and the Turbally website reckons that it's going to be a bit bumpy at the start and at the end of today's flight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please continue to observe the fasten seatbelt sign until the captain has switched it off.
Ryanair now have an at seat to order function within their app, meaning that you can browse their menu of products to buy and the crew will bring it straight to you. You don't need an internet connection to be able to do this. Unlike Eastern, where you might have received complimentary snacks like a bag of mini cheddars and a bottle of water, on Ryanair, for everything you have to pay. I've ordered a Prosecco, but as it turns out, Ryanair don't actually serve alcohol on this domestic flight, which the crew came to let us know about. On to slightly more urgent matters now, and one to watch if you're in row 1. The crew asked the toilet queue to wait in your foot space by the door. The loo itself was nothing special. Functional and practical is how you might describe it. Minimalist and bare bones is how others might describe it. So one of the things we haven't spoken about yet is price. I paid £15 for this ticket on Ryanair. It cost me more on the train to get to the airport. A lot of the comments that I've seen, unfortunately after the Eastern's demise, is just how expensive they were, and a lot of people weren't surprised at charging those sort of prices. I think 90 quid was the cheapest that was advertised on their website to get down here. 15 quid I paid. You can see there's a big difference there. But obviously you get a lot less with that, as we've shown. You only get a rucksack on Ryanair versus a suitcase on Eastern. It's none of the free complimentary sort of snacks that we got on Eastern. We've not got that on Ryanair, definitely. And there's no hot towel, which I thought was a massive win on that airline. I wish all the staff at Eastern well, and hopefully you can find new roles within aviation soon. I really enjoyed the flights that I took with that airline. And I do hope a new operator can be found quickly to reinstate this PSO route, as clearly this Ryanair option with Stansted is a big downgrade. We're on the approach now down into Newquay Cornwall Airport, over the sea to land on runway 12. One final point of comparison, Ryanair, like Eastern, do carry their own stairs for you to get on and off the aeroplane. Although on Eastern, it's the rear door, and that's the only one you can get on and off with. On Ryanair, the built-in steps are the front door only. Okay, so there we are. That is Ryanair down to Newquay. There's 3 flights a week at the moment. Hopefully some more come back soon. But for now, that's all you've got. No, I'm not on the phone, don't worry. That's all we've got at the moment. 3 flights down here and 3 flights back up to London. Hopefully that comes back soon when that PSO gets re-established. Hopefully it's not into Stansted. Heathrow would be amazing, wouldn't it? But Gatwick may be the one that we go for in the end. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next time.